So here's the video that I want to watch, and we're gonna start with this tonight, guys. Okay. This is a video called "The Largest Campaign Ever to Stop Publishers Destroying Games." I have a few friends that are very, in the know about these types of things. They said that this was a very important video. It's already hit like almost 250,000 views. This guy is, I don't know exactly what he's going to talk about, but I did talk about it a little bit last night. It is Mage. I'll describe it later. And this is a big campaign to I think stop publishers from destroying older games, because I did talk about this a little bit last night. Gaming media, as in our favorite old games, Game Boy games, NES games, Atari games, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, all of these older games are so much harder to find than any other older form of media. You can find like freaking books and movies and comics and so on from the 50s easier than you can find video games from like 20 years ago. It's actually insane. And a big part of it is publishers that, lock the games. And also like a lot of first party developers like Nintendo being absolute complete assholes. And they kind of like destroy the ability for these games to come out or be supported. And then another part of it is online only games. So like I talked about it before, a couple of like the old MMOs when we were going on our like retro MMO binge and stuff. For every like Ultima and for every EverQuest that is still supported, because the people who played those games, like there's like an ironclad, like they'll always play those games. There's like a small niche community that loves those games, like the RuneScapes, like the old school RuneScapes. For every one of those, there's like 20 or 30 games that were online only, that they either weren't as popular or the developer just didn't give a shit enough, and they don't really support the games anymore, and they're literally unplayable. Marvel Heroes was one of those for me. That's the Diablo clone that was made by a lot of the makers of Diablo 2. They did not want to work on Diablo 3. They actually went off and did their own thing, and they ended up making an ARPG based on the Marvel universe. Super cool, super dope game. Loved it dearly. But then after 4 years, they had to completely destroy the game. Like the game died, and the servers died. Everything died about it, and a completely unplayable game. Same with I think like a recent example is Back for Blood. It's not completely dead yet. You can still play Back for Blood, but Back for Blood is a games of service games made by the same makers, Turtle Rock, who made Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. And those games, those are still supported because they were made in conjunction with Valve, and Valve has infinite money, and also Left 4 Dead is super played still, and very very highly supported by the community. But Back for Blood, when it stopped being profitable for them to make more content for the game, they stopped making content for the game. And at some point in the near future, they will, and even though the game's only like 2 years old, Back 4 Blood I think came out in 2021 or 2022, one of the two, I can't remember exactly one, but soon, at some point, those game servers will go down and we'll never be able to play Back 4 Blood again, even though it's a relatively newer game. This happens to a lot of games, so I'm not sure exactly what all he'll encompass. We're about to find that out together. But this is just a subject that I'm very knowledgeable about, because I'm extremely I've been playing games from the very very beginning. I've been playing games since literally like MUDs and old Atari and old Mac and old MS DOS and everything. So I love older games, and I think like it's a huge part of our foundation as gamers. Whether we've played those or not, like even if you've never played a MUD, if you played an MMO, you've played the byproducts of a game that was made from a MUD. Without those, we never would have the MMOs, if that makes sense. So I think it's always important. And also, like, when you lose history, it's just a bad thing. It's always a bad thing. Losing history in any form ever is just bad. So I think we're going to watch the video. So I hope you guys are ready. And we'll close our first giveaway after this video's done.
I'm Ross, and I enjoy video games.
Okay.
Well,
sorry.
A lot of them.
Let's start from the beginning. I didn't realize my volume was low.
Hi, I'm Ross.
Hello, Ross.
And I enjoy video games.
Me too.
Or a lot of them.
Yep.
I also enjoy owning things. You know, like things.
Oh, okay. So this might also be about our do you guys remember the article when I talked about it? This was before I started YouTube. And so there was an article about I think it was either EA or Ubisoft. It was one of the two, and I can't remember which one it was. And they were talking about it was one of the heads, CEOs or whatever. It was some executive asshole, and he was talking about how we need as gamers to get used to not owning video games. And it was this like, I mean, I think he was mostly talking about subscription services, but that in and of itself has its own like bed of issues as well. But yeah, it was like this wacky article. Does anyone remember this one? Yeah,
in my hand or my immediate vicinity that I use frequently. When I walk down the street,
we can't get physical games anymore.
Run up to me and try to take the clothes off my back because it's generally understood by society that those are mine and belong to me. But see, just by me saying,
he obviously doesn't live in a place like LA, Miami, or New York. I just want to toss that out there.
Saying those things, we already have a problem.
Right.
Yeah, you can probably see where this is going. The video game industry has a lot of problems.
Let me turn on CCs
like,
for you guys.
A lot of problems.
Oh yeah.
I think regulators have no idea actually.
Yeah, I think also like I would say regulators definitely have no idea, but I would say that gamers have really no idea. I would say most gamers had no clue about, you know, the problems of games as a service. They had no clue about you know, how bloated the games industry was until like all the firings and all the layoffs. They had no clue about AI, even though AI has been a problem for many years. And only now people are catching on. Like gamers in general don't know a lot about these things. And this is why I love like making YouTube content. I love being able to help educate. And I used to do this via stream for 5 years. But now I can do it via both stream and YouTube. So if you're from the YouTube, welcome. I hope you guys enjoy the videos. Drop a like, drop the sub. We're going to be enjoying this subject upcoming. But yeah, education is important. And I think gamers are woefully uneducated in a lot of these subjects. And I'll always try to help in that regard, even a little bit. So adding my voice to this guy who's very knowledgeable about the subject, obviously, and many others. I think it's very important to talk about the downsides and the worries and the evils of the games industry, because we all want this industry to be better. We all love games. We all want this stuff to improve because we want to be able to enjoy games for the next decades, for sure, forever, really. Hell yeah.
But there's one problem in particular I've been hating for decades, and it's getting worse and worse.
Yep.
And that is destroying video games so that no one can ever play them again. And I don't mean your brother sticking a disc in the microwave so that your copy is destroyed. I mean,
did anyone's brother or sister, did anyone's sibling ever do that? I'm an only child, so I've never run across this issue before. This sounds insane. I remember one time my my childhood best friend, his little brother, I think he like, did you ever play with someone who like pulled out the controller when they're about to lose? So my child, I was spending the night at my childhood best friend's house. His name's Nick. His little brother Zach. I don't remember what we were playing. We're either playing Halo or Smash Bros. Or something. I don't remember exactly what. And Zach, the little brother, was starting to lose. He pulls out his controller. It ends up pulling out the system, and like it crashes on the floor. And Nick just lost it. And he went to the freezer. He took out the frozen, I think it was frozen broccoli. It was a package of frozen broccoli, and just smacked Zach over the head with it. And I had to like pull him apart, man. It was insane. And I was thinking to myself, man, this is why I don't have brothers and sisters. Oh my god. It was just like one of those things, man. It was just one of those things. It was crazy. I don't know if you've ever had like anyone who has brothers or sisters in this community. Have you guys ever had that happen? Holy shit! I don't know why, but this reminded me of that story.
Everyone's. There's a really specific way this happens.
Right.
Just as a quick
There's a few
refresher,
ways,
for
say.
most of gaming history, this hasn't been much of an issue. Most games contain the code that interfaces with the hardware and run the game, and that's the whole story. Now, for online multiplayer games, it's a little different, where a lot of the older ones will let players host the server that runs the game, then other people would connect to it, or sometimes give you the software to make that server a standalone thing and connect to that.
Right.
But over time, more and more companies decided, hey.
So he's going to be talking about games as a service, by the way, guys. I'm pretty sure he's talking about games as a service that are discontinued. And this is going to be used as a lexicon to talk about this issue with gaming as a whole, which is true. I completely agree with this. Because we used to have the ability to play games peer-to-peer. And those peer-to-peer games can still be played today. I'm talking about like old like Quake and like all kinds of stuff like that. And then like, someone got the idea, why don't we have a central server for it? And like a lot of the gaming infrastructure kind of grew from there. That's actually how Battle.net was made as well.
Instead of letting the player host the game, what if we did it instead? Well, there are pros and cons to that, but that can be a valid approach. In theory.
Right.
But here's the problem.
Lots of
the games industry has a horrible track record of maintaining its own games.
Yes.
There was a large study conducted last year.
Hey, this is the one. This is the one I was talking about. This is the one I covered several months ago. 87% of classic games are missing. They're completely unplayable. The percentage of this with books and TV shows and movies are infinitely higher. Every single other form of media is much higher. I wonder if he has the article. If he does, I'll be sure to link it in the video that I'm making about this. StopKillingGames.com. Okay, so he doesn't have the article here. This is called the Video Game History Foundation. Let me find the article. Video Game History. Oops. Yeah, Video Game History Foundation. Study. Oh, here we go. 87% missing. Here's the article, guys. This thing is huge. This is the one I read out to you guys all the way back. Yeah, maybe it was 9 months ago. It was a long time before I started YouTube. So yeah, there you go. This is a very, very disheartening article. But yeah, when I was talking about like earlier about like how we have like old movies from the 50s and old like TV shows and stuff, like totally fine, not even like great, but at least in a fine level. We don't have these things for video games at all, and a lot of the issues is probably going to bring up here. This is big.
But only 13% of published video games are still available by the publisher commercially. So what happens when the publisher takes over the responsibility of running the game?
Yeah.
Well, it's usually pretty good while they support the game. Then
while
when they
support the
it's
game,
a complete nightmare, and it's been responsible for destroying more video games than any other practice.
Yeah.
That's a big shift. Because the industry is trying to get users to go from a model where they get to keep their game, regardless of when support ends, to...
I'll give a little pushback. I think actually, I don't know if this is the largest reason. I would say this is the largest reason for online games in the past 10 years. And that's totally fine. I completely agree with him. This is like a huge issue. But I would say it's actually, kind of hand in hand, but separate from the other major issue that I brought up earlier, where it is actually games that are physical discs that are no longer being distributed anymore in any way, shape, or form. And anytime someone comes up with an emulator or anything to preserve the game, a company like Nintendo shuts it down. I think that's the other giant issue. I don't know if he's going to get into that, but I think that's I think these are two pretty different issues, but they're related both to the destruction of video games. And I would say like more games were probably destroyed by the latter practice than this practice. Only because this is recency bias. Not a bad thing, but like That this is a separate issue, equally important, for sure. And I think this one will be more important going forward for sure, because this problem will keep happening with all of our online only games. At some point, we will lose access to Diablo 4 for anyone who plays Diablo 4. Those servers will go down someday if you know, regulation doesn't change, and any, you know, items that we had equipped in Diablo 4 or whatever will be gone. Someday, World of Warcraft will go down, and we will lose everything that we had in World of Warcraft. Someday, your husbandos and waifus from Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail will be gone. I'm sorry, guys. It's true. It's true. If this doesn't change, if you care about the husbandos and waifus, listen to this video.
One where the game dies forever. I'm not a fan.
Yep.
For companies that do this, the number...
Bro, I've seen so many games die, man. Like, this is actually depressing. How many games did you play online that are no longer supported in any way, shape, or form? I've seen way too many. A lot of them are MMOs, like older MMOs. But they're even more than just MMOs though. Like, there are so many games. Like, I'm actually, when we looked up the Secret World, dude, I was like so happy at least the Secret World is up. But like, so many other MMOs that I used to play and stuff are just completely done. They're dead. They're gonzo. Flash used to exist. Yeah, all Flash games are gone. Exactly. Well, no, there is a repository. No, that's actually one of the success stories made. When Flash went down, there was a couple of sites that did save Flash. Like pretty much, I think there was like a special like historical website or something that saved all of the Flash games. But yeah. City of Heroes community run private server gets official license from NCSoft. Wow. Rare W, Aku. Rare W. So apparently NCSoft changed this in one of the large W's, where they actually gave the license to a private server to continue running the game. They're like, you know what? You guys are doing what we will never be able to do. Here you go. Dude, if Nintendo did that for old NES game, you know what, guys? Going out on a limb, in order to solve this problem, if the government truly wants to solve this problem, they should, and I hope they sincerely do, pass a law that says if a company is not trying to sell their game and they haven't sold a single copy of the game in, let's say, for around number 10 years, anyone can sell that. Not sell that. Anyone can put an emulator of that game if they're not making money from it, or even if they make money from it. I don't care. But like, if they, if there's some licensing issue about making money, then not make money, because people put up emulators for free all the time. I think that would like literally instantly solve this issue. Like, this would solve this issue. Bam, done.
Of games that survive in any form, forget being available commercially, is a lot worse.
I'm loving
than
this
13%.
video already. This is a W
did an
video.
informal investigation on it a few years ago and found it was closer to 3%.
Yeah.
I think that number may have gotten...
Oof. Games that provided their customers a chance for continuing their service. 2.46%. And games that actually offered full refunds. 1%. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. Get ready. Uh-oh. What's going on? And Dungeon Master, hope you're doing great, my friend. All the love, Dungeon. For sure. Hell yeah. Hope you're having a great night, guys.
Even lower since I did that. From my perspective, this has felt like a slow-moving coup to take away ownership
really like
from
this
more
video.
and more people over time.
Existential.
So video game publishers are making billions selling you a game as a good, not telling you how long it will last.
And sometimes it doesn't last for like a year even. Like, dude, so many games died in under a year. Like, how long did it take for Anthem to die? Let's see. How long was Anthem available? Let's do Anthem video game. I'm looking on Google right now. I feel like Anthem died really fast. Okay, so Anthem debuted on February 22nd, 2019. That's when it was released. And then all development was ceased in February of 2021. So Anthem died in 2 years. Sorry, I was wrong. I thought it was 1 year. It was 2 years. Slightly better than I thought, but still really, really fucking bad. Oh my god. I had a similar idea, but my thought was that game companies would benefit from allowing older games to be emulated and even support it by providing the game's emulators themselves. The profit they would make from the practice would outweigh the cost. Yeah, but that limits it to the developers that can be assholes. Case in point, Minta. Now, if game developers weren't assholes, a lot of them, I would completely agree with you. But Nintendo has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is not enough. Because Nintendo provides their own little like mini emulator with their, Nintendo Online service or whatever on their Nintendo Switch. And A, you have to buy a subscription, which sucks. B, it is an extremely limited number of games. And C, it is like they can take away that service anytime. And they will. They will not hesitate to take away that service at any point. So that's my example. That's my example. Gundam Evolution died within a year. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about, Night Mage. Welcome, buddy. You're hopping in at the perfect time. We're at the beginning of the video. We've been talking about this for about like 20 minutes, actually. I didn't realize I had so much to say about the subject. I'm very passionate about this subject as well. Hell yeah, dude. Welcome.
Purposefully killing it later so you're left with nothing, but then they get to keep your money.
Right.
Now, don't confuse this with rentals. Rentals are sold as a service.
Yeah, I would say this is a very important differentiation, because this is what actually Nintendo's online service is. It's a rental. This is what Xbox Live is. This is what PlayStation Plus. What is it called? What's the Xbox one? Game Pass. Sorry, Game Pass. That's what Game Pass is, and that's fine. But like they're not also trying to revive dead games with it. It's just the thing about Steam. If God forbid Valve goes down the tubes, what you're gonna do about it? Oh yeah, no, Ryan, I think about it all the time. And like the really cool thing is, the reason that Steam is such a good service is because of Gabe Newell, and the owner of Valve. And I do think about the fact that he is the only thing that has kept Steam private. He could have made like $1 billion selling Steam or taking it public. He didn't do that. And he's stated that he's never going to do that. However, what happens in 50 years when Gabe dies? And like, will the next guy who owns Steam, Gabe's son or Gabe's like, second in command or whatever, will he make the same decision? Because if Steam ever goes public, that is when Steam will go down the tubes. That is when we'll face like the possibility of losing all of our Steam titles. And they could take away all of our Steam titles within an instant. People run into this when they get banned on Steam. When they get like, IP banned on Steam for like cheating or whatever. And sometimes that's like a false positive. Sometimes they don't even cheat and that happens to them. They lose access to all of their games. Exactly. Hope he's around when he's 110 too. Yeah, I mean, well, Ryan, I read the book when I was a kid. Live long enough until you can live forever. So I fully believe that the average age will only go up as we age. I think we might be the first generation that lives past an average age of 100. That's my hope, though. That's a hope. We'll see. We'll see if we don't like have the nuclear apocalypse first.
And tell you exactly how long they last. A customer who rents something is informed. Video game publishers don't want that, because they know if they put on the box exactly how long.
Hold on, I had to take away the CZs. Notice, this game will cease working after 1 year. Yeah, Lawbreakers was one of the examples of the 1 year mark. Exactly. Yeah, and Nightmare, you're right. The license is an actual legally binding document. Correct. So yeah, there is that as well.
How long the game will last, then that will hurt sales a lot. So it's important to withhold that information from the customer.
However, to go against your point, Night Mage, Has there ever been someone who had the license, lost the game, lost access to the game, and had to fight it out in court? Because if not, then there is no legal precedence for us to be able to have rights based on that license yet. Not fully. It means that someone will someday have to fight this out in court before we can, as a whole, say, oh yeah, because we have the license, we have rights for our games. We actually don't have that right yet. Because to my knowledge, it has never really been fought out in court yet. And until that day happens, legal precedence has not happened yet.
Because customers are used to video games lasting forever, more or less. You could have bought games from the 70s that still work today.
Oh, man. Dude, I've actually played a couple of these. I've actually played this. Oh, my God. Breakout is a classic. Breakout has had many remakes. So Breakout I know very, very well. Space Invaders. Everyone knows Space Invaders.
You could have bought games from the 90s with online multiplayer that connect to the internet.
Oh, man. Hold on. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I gotta move my head. Special shout out to Star Wars Jedi Knight. Star Wars Dark Forces 1 and 2. Amazing games. Sorry, I just had to... Like, Dark Forces is straight up one of my favorite games. Oh my god, it's so good. Just complete aside, goated. Dark Forces Remasters is worth it. Wait, no it's not. Dark Forces is worth it. Dark Forces Remaster is like $50 or $40. There is no way a remaster like that is worth $40. Hold on, let me check how much it is. Now, am I glad it exists, Existential? Completely. But is it worth $40? God, what were they thinking? Dude, this is them trying to milk you. $30. $30 is way too much. It's way, way too much. Like, I'm glad this exists. W that it exists. But $30 for a game that is, what, 35 years old almost, or something like that, is fucking nuts, man. It's fucking nuts, in my opinion. Dark Forces with the downloaded Force Engine? Yeah. I'm just saying, like, price-wise, dude, they're fucking milking you, bro. LucasArts is, like, milking you for this one. I just want you to know.
Internet that still work today.
It's a travesty.
Even
so
if the
expensive.
companies that made them no longer exist. But a lot of publishers like to place modern video games that are designed to die, but they won't tell you when.
Oh, man. True. Overwatch 1. Like, all of these is very, very true. But Overwatch 1 is especially egregious. Because in Overwatch 1, people bought so many cosmetics. And they lost all of those cosmetics when it swapped to Overwatch 2. So it was basically like they just, you know, threw all of that money down the drain. No, the online part of it died, Minta. So you can still play Deus Ex Mankind Divided. But you can only play, like, the single-player version and things like that. You can't do, like, any of the online content. Yeah. That's why. Digital ownership is an insane concept. Yeah, that's why this discussion is so important, Ryan. And I'm glad you're here for it, bro.
And right alongside ones that last forever.
Right.
So they can try to cash in on customer confusion. Because the
Exactly.
average person believes they are buying something. Now, I personally hate this practice because art has innate value to me. And while it's debatable if video games are art, they undeniably contain art.
Yes.
So seeing games destroyed to me is the same as if someone were to walk into an art museum.
I think we can all agree here that video games are art, right, guys? And I think this is like a definitional, very important thing. Because we can call movies art, we can call art, we can call comics art, we can call books art. I think by that nature, we can call video games art. Low art, high art, it's still art. And also, what do you mean low art, Ryan? Because, like, I actually don't agree. I think it's just art. I don't think there is a low art or high art. Oh, art for Philistines. Okay, you're just making fun of gamers. I got you. That's fair. That's fair. Ryan is just being a tsundere. Yeah, for degenerates. Video games are art for us degens. Oh my god. Oh my god. The only game that's not art is League? No, League is definitely art, dude. I disagree, man. I know you're just memeing League, but like, dude, I completely think of League as absolute art. Like, dude, that game has been existing for 15 years. There have been so many memories that people have made over 15 years. Like, that's a lot, man. 15 years too long. Okay.
Museum and start torching the paintings.
Oh my god, hold on. Yeah, dude, this is something that pisses me off, man. Anytime there's like, you know, some pseudo-environmentalist or something that goes into an art museum and like tries to light like a fucking painting on fire. Oh my god. That is sure to make me hate that person and want them in jail for straight up a decade. I think anyone who pulls this shit should be in jail for a fucking decade. Even if I completely agree with, like, you know, whatever thing that they're, you know, trying to fight for. If they're agreeing with, you know, fight against oil or whatever. But, like, the way they do that, dude, fuck anyone who does this shit.
Debatable if video games are art, they undeniably contain art. So seeing games destroyed to me is the same as if someone were to walk into an art museum and start torching the paintings. And it's insult to injury that companies
and people do that. Like that's the most wild part of this. People legit do this shit.
That do this face no penalties. Nor is there a good reason for them doing it.
Yeah.
I won't get into the details here, and you may hear excuses.
The reason is money. Like, I think it's important to know, it's not a good reason, but there is a reason. The reason is money. They want to be able to make a remake of this game, like Star Wars Dark Forces remaster, after 20 years. They want to be able to do this. And if, say Star Wars Dark Forces lost its license, right? Now, to be fair, this kind of goes against my original thought, because they've been selling Star Wars Dark Forces originally for years and years and years, right? But say they hadn't, and then they released Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster, they would be limiting themselves in order to sell the remaster later on. That is what a lot of these companies think like. I'm not saying it's right, I'm saying it's completely fucked up, but this is what they think like.
As to why companies
it's a
have to destroy your games, even though they largely didn't used to do that, even for online multiplayer.
Yeah.
But what I found is that the people saying that tend to either be uninformed or else incredibly unimaginative.
Right.
And can only see things one way.
When we order the pancakes, they're gonna bring the maple syrup.
Maple syrup is supposed to be on the table before the pancakes.
Of course, when they bring the maple syrup after the pancakes, it'll definitely be too late.
How was that?
Absolutely true. Unironically true. Because if your pancakes come out and then you have to wait for the syrup and like the butter and everything afterwards, the pancakes will get too cold. And then they're like not nearly as tasty. Pancakes are made to be eaten when they're like hot and warm and yummy, man, right?
Not gonna be too late, huh? Right?
Yeah, talking with people who defend this practice can feel a lot like that.
And yes, it is a celebration.
I'm reminded of when Microsoft was sued by the Department of Justice for bundling Internet Explorer with Windows, and Microsoft claimed it was impossible to separate it from Windows 98, even though it wasn't even with Windows 95 when it launched. And through the power of hindsight, they actually did remove it from Windows years later.
Right.
So it was possible earlier.
It's like anytime, dude, it happens so much. Like when they're when a company will be like, dude, this can never change. We're locked in. This thing that makes user experience worse for everyone, I'm sorry. We can never change it until they're legally required to change it. And they're like, all right, you know what? We'll fix it in a day. It happens every time, man. Every freaking time. It happens in video games all the time as well. It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true.
It's possible in the future, but it's impossible right now because the company has spent a lot of time trying to make it difficult. That is such a
Absolutely.
good analogy for what is happening with games. You have no
Space
idea.
Pinball was
Anyway, no
removed
matter
its
how
license
you
from
look
another
at it,
pinball game.
this is
Oh, shit.
such an obvious assault on consumer rights. And in any other industry, a company destroying what they sold you would be illegal.
Right.
If only there was something we could do about this. Well, as it so happens, we have the best opportunity ever to take action on this. A few months ago, the company Ubisoft announced it was shutting down a game.
Dude, I remember this, man. There was a huge outcry for this game. It happened like literally just right around Christmas. And like I didn't know there were so many fans of the crew, but apparently there was. Like I remember people losing their shit over this. I never made a video about it. I didn't realize.
Of this nature called The Crew.
Right.
Now, The Crew, I think, is a flawed but remarkable game, but none of that matters here. What matters is it had at least 12 million players. So this affects a lot of people. And Ubisoft is headquartered in France.
Right.
And France has some of the strongest consumer laws in the world. See, this isn't really about The Crew or even Ubisoft.
Hope you're well, Sully.
It's about trying to find a weak
Silent
link
Silver,
in the
how have you
industry so governments can examine this practice to stop publishers from destroying our games.
Right.
Outside of the United States, this practice is very hazy legally. Many governments don't even.
Honestly, like this is true. And I think he's going to talk about Ubisoft is in France, right? And so we should fight this out in Europe. Because let's be real, pretty much all consumer laws in America are infinitely worse than consumer laws in other countries, especially Europe. The reason we have percentage numbers on loot boxes now is because it's illegal to not have percentages on loot boxes in Europe. And no one wants to lose the European market. And because of that, we have percentages on loot boxes now everywhere. And it's because of, it's the rare EUW, the extremely rare EUW.
Have laws regarding this.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. More on that later. If we can find even
Wider digital
one major
economy issue?
country
True.
to penalize
But
this
he's a gamer,
practice,
so
that
we
might
care about
fix
games.
everything. Because the thing about letting you keep your game is it's not that expensive for companies to do it, especially if it's a known requirement from the beginning. Then it's almost negligible. So if a company knows they have to let you keep your game in one country, they may as well make it global policy because then they've already done the work.
Right.
It really could take just one victory to end this. So even if you have no interest in the
He's talking about legal precedents. If you win in a legal battle in one time, you have precedents for future. That's what he's talking about. That's what he's talking about. Violent Shades, thank you for the kind words. How have you been, my friend? We miss seeing you. We're still on every single night, so hop on over, join the discussion, join our giveaways, by the way. Giveaway is live right now. Special giveaway for Eid. Lots and lots of giveaways. Hell yeah, good to see you, my friend. How have you been?
Crew. If you just want to keep your games, keep watching.
Hey, welcome
There's
new
more.
friend Noble. How
Hearing
you
about
doing?
this shutdown has caused
Pleasure
me to
to
go
meet
on
you.
a
Any friend of
research
Central
odyssey
is a friend of
to
ours.
see if I could find any possible way to get governments to examine the legality
Thank you
of
for the follow-up.
destroying your
Welcome to Corey Crew.
games. I have been waiting for an opportunity like this.
Right.
This problem has been going on for decades, but it
Oh my god. Dead Island Epidemic. Hey, Marvel Heroes! What did I just say, guys? Marvel Heroes. Hell yeah. Ubisoft killed Assassin's Creed 1 through 3 by stopping support for them. You can't even access the paid DLC anymore. Yes, correct. That's exactly what this is talking about, Darts Up. That is exactly the type of thing this is talking about.
usually only affects a small minority of players that are too dispersed to do much.
Right, and that's what these game companies rely on. They rely on these companies not trying to and not being like, you know, together enough to actually do something about it. And they've been successful. Like this is exactly what has happened. A lot of gamers like to argue and stuff and so on and so forth. It's hard to get them to agree on one entire thing, you know? It's like almost next to impossible, I would say.
Most have moved on when a game is killed, and the industry has been counting on that lethargy. So an event like this that's big enough to do something is like the planets aligning.
Oh, man. Ghost in the Shell, StarQuest Online. I actually know some of these. War of the Roses, Paradox. Oh my god, yeah. That game is ancient. That game was so good back in the day. PlanetSide, yeah, original PlanetSide. Legends of Norath. Final Fantasy 11, yeah. Yeah, Final Fantasy 11. There's a lot of these. Very true.
We have to take action on it. Now, I do not think I'm the ideal person to do this. I'm not a legal expert. I
Okay.
have limited reach.
Okay.
Honestly, everything about what I've been doing has been an amateur effort. I don't even want
Everything, I would say that, you know, everything starts with an amateur effort. Everything starts with it, man. Amateur effort and some big dick attitude. And this guy has both in spades. I like it. I like it. I like this guy. Hold on. Before we continue, I'm going to give this guy a like and a sub. Like, we haven't even finished the video yet. This guy deserves it. He's making a very important video. I can see why this already has 250,000 views.
to be doing this.
Right.
But if you care about this issue, I'm what you're stuck with because nobody else has stepped up.
No one else is
And
doing shit.
I guess there is one thing that makes me a good candidate for this.
Yeah, exactly, Dot.
And that at least with me, you're getting maximum hustle. I have decades worth of resentment on this issue. You know when a dog is
The true power of gamers, guys. Our superpower, if you wanna like pare down gamers' superpower in a nutshell, you know what it is? Stubborn spite. Spite that leads to stubbornness. We literally are just so pissed. That's what it is. We're like, fuck you, we'll do it ourselves. We have done this so much. I love it, man. I love it. That's why, like, dude, if you take every subset of any kind of creation and you make a correlation with how loud and vocal they are, gamers are like the highest on that list. We are, as a population, louder, I would say, than musicians, for sure. We're louder than movie makers and you know, people in movies and stuff, for sure. We might be the loudest. Yeah, mental degradation due to constant, unending, repetitive tasks. Exactly. True and real, Ryan. True and real. But you know what? We take what we can get. We have to... It's all about knowing your strength. It's all about knowing your strengths. Because we have more anonymity on average. Oh, no, I mean this in a good way, Potato. A lot of times it's in a bad way. But in this way, it's a good way. Like, dude, this is... Why do you think DMCA exists? It's because of music companies. And music makers and fans of music have not gotten together to take down the bullshitness of DMCA yet. You know why? They lack spite. They lack stubbornness. They lack the spite and stubbornness that gamers have. Straight up. Straight up. Be proud, guys. Be proud.
is eating and somebody yanks away its food bowl, even nice dogs will get angry or even attack you. That's how I feel about the industry on this.
Oh yeah. If you want to see how I feel about the industry, let's look it up, boys. Let's look it up. Where's my where's my collection of rants? Where are my playlists? Start making playlists. I've not even filled all the playlists, but my second highest area of the playlist, rants. What are all my rants about? The evils of the gaming industry, the things that they do wrong. That's the majority of my rants. Look at that, man. Look at that. The assorted gaming videos is like just a catch-all. So if you have like, I've basically sorted 20 videos. 11 of them are rants. I understand, man. I understand.
Since I started this campaign, I've spent hundreds of hours on it, talked to multiple lawyers, worked
There you
with
go,
over
Thykato.
100 volunteers, sent hundreds and hundreds of emails trying to chase down every single lead I can find. I have been relentless on this.
You can see. Look at these eyes, guys. These eyes are the eyes of a frustrated OG gamer. I know them well. It's me. I have the same eyes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I felt it too. In the game trailer for Yes, Your Grace, the
Okay.
king is hearing so many requests from his subjects that at one point he just keels over from it all. Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. And
I've never played that game. That sounds hilarious. Oh my god, I love games like these. Hell yeah. It's called Yes, Your Grace. I'm gonna have to write that down. And maybe at some point dungeon.
after months of research, yes, I have found ways we can do something. Not just long shots either, but really viable routes. I have found what I think are all the agencies worldwide best equipped to take action on this issue. I've also found dead ends. A lot
Lots
of
of
dead
them.
ends.
Yep.
In fact, I found so many that if I had known earlier what I know now, I could have saved myself at least a month's worth of work. Like I said, this is an amateur effort, so I'm trying to make up for that with even more hustle. And because I'm treating this like it's my only shot, because it probably is,
I was about to pause and say, it is. This is probably his only shot on this, honestly.
I'm not stopping at the crew. Remember, the crew is just a means to an end.
This is precedence.
Which is to stop companies
Starting
from
legal
destroying your
precedence.
games.
Yeah.
So rather than just getting the government to interpret the law, I figure why not go to the source while we're at it? So in addition to the consumer action, we're also pursuing government petitions. Now hold on, I know what some of you are thinking. These are not normal petitions.
Okay.
Where you get a bunch of people to sign to show that people care and hope companies do the right thing. Come on guys, give me more credit than that.
Thank God.
Guys, I'm here.
This is what I was worried about. I thought he was going to be like one of these like useless petitions and stuff. But no, this is much more. This is much, much better. Hey, Smiles, how you doing? Join the giveaway, buddy. Lots of giveaways tonight. Hope you're well, buddy. We're celebrating Eid and talking about gaming preservation. Very important stuff. Welcome. My God, the poor freeze frame. I did not do this guy a service. There we go.
No, these are government initiatives where if we pass a certain threshold, the government has to respond. It's the law.
Right.
And for some of them are almost guaranteed to be debated. Yeah, we'll see. But this is how a lot of laws get made. So what's in these petitions? Well, it varies for every country since they all have different rules, but they all share the same fundamentals.
Okay.
I tried to design the fairest proposals I could that still solve the problem.
This is good.
Yeah, remember that, naysayers.
He's put a lot
I'm
of work
trying to
into it.
solve the problem.
Right.
But I'm also trying to keep the scope as narrow as possible. I am not trying to reform the games industry. I am just trying to stop companies from destroying games that they've sold to you. That's it. So, with that in mind,
to keep it, you know.
while the game is being supported, any game, absolutely nothing would happen.
Right.
Companies could do whatever they wanted. We're going for a light touch. It's only once support ends that requirements would kick in.
This makes sense.
The first is any game sold or licensed, for those of you who want to be pedantic, will be required to be left in a functional state when support ends. This does not.
Okay, what were you saying, Dartsup? The current CEO of Ubisoft, this guy who EA fired for being too greedy. Yeah, exactly. Paying by the reload. Wait. There was a guy, the guy who is the current CEO of Ubisoft tried to put out an idea where people would pay for the reload in a Battlefield game. Pay by reload? Are you serious? Like, is this a joke or is this legit? Like, this sounds particularly bad. It's legit. It wasn't suggestion. Well, I mean, this is probably why they fired him, right? Did he go from Unity to Ubisoft? I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. I'd have to look this up. But yeah, that's crazy, man. If that's true, man, that's crazy. Could you find a source? I'd love to read about this. Yeah, I'd love to read about this guy's history. I'll cover it. Send it to me, chat. I'll read it. Not tonight, but I'll read it.
A 100% perfect state, but it means a hell of a lot better than completely inoperable.
Right.
It would also require no connection to the publisher or affiliated parties in order for it to continue functioning. So it would need to be patched to either be offline or have private hosting only. It's the only way. Anything less and the game dies.
Completely agree with this. He's thinking this out really, really smartly, guys. He's legit doing a really, really, really good job on this. I'm liking where he's going with this.
And yes, this would include DRM that needs to connect to the internet. And because I'm being forced to go to all this trouble, I really want to end this. So this would also apply to games with microtransactions.
Right.
Except we didn't say microtransactions since these were in plain English. So this would cover free-to-play games. Because if you've been sold something like a virtual horse, but then the publisher...
Or horse armor, which is how a lot of this shit started. The good old Bethesda horse armor. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, what a throwback. What a throwback, man.
destroys the game, well, now you can't access your horse. I've been told undisturbed possession is a term for what I'm talking about here.
Okay.
And finally, these rules cannot be superseded by end-user license agreements, since that's how companies have been getting away with highway robbery in the first place, especially in the US. There's no point in having rights if you have to sign them away just to play a game. I'm sure a few...
Remember we were talking about Steam earlier, guys? This has to do with this as well. So this would positively even affect that.
Two of you right now are scoffing at this proposal, but just remember Internet Explorer, guys. It was impossible. And that's it, pretty much. Now,
yeah,
one thing we left
sense.
off the table, but it's kind of an open secret we'd be willing to compromise on, or at least I would be if a company doesn't fix the game, but they give you all the information, tools, software, and so on so that a programmer could be reasonably expected to get it working again, yeah, that's an acceptable substitute. Though the resentment some others had helping on this was strong, and they didn't trust companies not to abuse a provision like that.
Right.
And they could be right. So
I think they're completely right. Because, like, any kind of loophole you give these companies, you give companies like Nintendo, they will take like a dog and like, never let that shit go. They will do everything in their power to screw that up. It's absolutely true. Wade Wilson, buddy, welcome. Thank you for the sub, my friend. Hope you're having a great night. Join the giveaway. Lots of special giveaways. And tonight, we're talking about game preservation. How are you doing, Wade Wilson, buddy? We love you. We miss you. Hope you're having a great, great night. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Loads of giveaways. And you have to be here when we call the giveaway, by the way, since we're doing multiple tonight. Just a reminder, guys. Just a reminder.
Left it out of the proposals. We also left out this applying to all software and restricted it just to video games. Now, don't get me wrong. I personally think all commercial software should have these provisions also. But this is already such an uphill battle.
Right.
That expanding the scope would invite many more enemies and weaken our odds. Remember, I am single issue. The point is...
Hey, you gotta be single issue with this. That's how you creep. When you have like a game development that goes into scope creep, that's when you're like in a bad news bear situation. That's when you're in a bad news bear situation. What am I missing? This is a take. Need to be smarter. Companies need to be less of an opportunity. Well, companies will do what they do, Minta. That's why people have to be harsher about it. That is why I do a lot more time speaking up. That's the thing. Like I don't know if you noticed, but I've been a lot more vocal about the issues of gaming since I started YouTube, and this is why. Because I can use my voice to actually affect change and at least educate people on the subject. But like the thing is, you cannot rely on companies. That's what this guy's talking about. You need legal precedents. Because if you don't have legal precedents that protects your rights as gamers, or in any way, shape, or form, even not in gaming, the companies are not going to be nice to you. They don't want to give you shit. And the sooner people realize these companies are not your friends, they don't give a fuck about you. All they care about is the money that you give them. The sooner everyone realizes that, the better. Because you have to fight them on the field of fucking battle in order to get anything out of them. And I know this because of all of the other ways I've had to do this. I've had to do this for fighting for my mom's medication, fighting with insurance companies. I've had to do this since I was a kid for these types of things. I've had to help sift through legal documents for my dad in order to stave off, like, issues of business and so on and so forth. Like, people trying to take everything from us. And we've been able to win. And I've only done this because I am meticulous. I'm fucking militant when it comes to these things. And I realized at a very, very young age, these companies would sooner rather see us die if it would put another dollar into their pockets. And I am not even being facetious about this. Like, I am being 100% for fucking real. These companies don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about me. They don't give a shit about anyone except giving money to their shareholders. That is it. That is it. Problem is, people are in the delusion. Companies have been at it for years. It's not saying, but it's the most uphill battle in history. Oh, yeah, I completely agree. Okay, Minto, yeah, I completely agree with that. People just want to live in their disillusionment. I completely agree. And that is why I'm, like, so loud about it nowadays. That is exactly it. And Senpai Abby, we haven't seen you in forever. How you been? Welcome back. I am on my old computer, my 9-year-old computer, but we are still here every single night. Loads of giveaways. Join the giveaway. It's Eid. We're having lots of fun and talking about lots of important stuff. So welcome. Senpai Abby. How have you been, buddy? Welcome back to the stream. We miss you, man. Welcome.
Even if you don't own the crew, you'll still be able to do something if you live in one of the countries where these petitions were launched.
Right, okay.
This is a multi-pronged attack. I have prongs for everyone. Well, no, but
I like how I put up those little sports. Oh my god, that's so good. That's so good.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's complicated. Remember a while back when there were so many versions of Watch Dogs for sale that somebody made a spreadsheet on how to buy?
Oh my god. Dude, this is like one of the worst times of Ubisoft's existence. When they made Watch Dogs. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Oh my god. This is how they try to milk money out of you. This is exactly how. Oh my god.
The game. It's not that
disgusting.
bad, but it does have a lot of variables.
Yeah.
What I've found is that what people can do varies on where they live
Yep,
and
welcome
whether
to
they own the
Ubisoft.
crew or not. But even then, it can still be confusing. So I've seen it as a priority to make this as easy as possible for everyone. To that end,
now I don't know if he's gone to this end. We haven't seen his website yet, but we will. And I'm sure he'll go into it in detail. But the times that I've seen petitions work, and I know because I've worked in these situations, working for, human rights and so on and so forth, that I vehemently agree with, and to the point that I'll actually put forth my own time, money, and sweat and tears, making these things happen, even and especially on a local level. The way you do it is you have the petition already written. All you need to make the barrier of entry for these petitions, for any kind of letter or anything like that, as small as possible. You can't just say and expect it to work on Twitter, hey, contact your local government official about this very important subject. No. What you do is, here is the letter that you should send. Just put your name at the top. Here is the email. Just send it to this email. That's it. You have to make the barrier of entry as small as possible. That is the only way to get lazy fucking people to do shit. Because even if someone is like passionate about a subject, a lot of times laziness will, not laziness, but also like, having, people call it like having too few spoons in the air, whatever it is. People just don't have the time or wherewithal to do certain things. That's why it is important for even people passionate about the subject. You have to lower their barrier of entry. You have to make it as simple as possible. Yes, are you putting a lot more work on yourself to get all this ready? Yes. But is that necessary for, that's me, I have zero motivation. There you go. Hey, at least you're self-aware about it. But like, that's the thing. That's the thing. So I hope he's done all of this, but we'll see.
I've been working with volunteers to launch a website to do just that.
Hey, look at that.
StopKillingGames.com. I hope you can remember that name. It has
StopKillingGames.com. Burn Nintendo at the stake. True and real. StopKillingGames.com. Let me grab this. Here you go. Here's where the petition is. Oh, dude. I'm curious what happens if I press the button. Oh my god, he basically made like a flowchart. He basically did everything to like literally take you bit by bit through the entire process. This is so good, guys. Look at this. It even sorts it by priority. Literally step by step. Oh my god, someone gifted editor a gifted sub. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Whoever that was, you're amazing. Enjoy your ad-free viewing, the adorable emotes, corgis and Captain America cuteness. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Dude, thank you, whoever that was. You're amazing. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Senpai Abby, join our giveaway, bro. Everyone join our giveaway. Giveaway is active. Dude, this guy went into, like, massive detail. I feel like I'm, like, stealing his thunder because we're looking at the website instead of listening to the video. But this is really, really cool. Everyone, do me a favor and grab this website. Grab this website. Mad raving, absolutely, my friend. How you doing tonight? Hope you're having a great night. StopKillingGames.com. Welcome, welcome. We've been on for 2 hours doing multiple giveaways. Hell yeah. And talking about some very important subjects in gaming, in tech of all kinds. And lots and lots of fun stuff. So it's a bit of a celebration and talk about real shit. Just something that my entire culture is very good at doing. We talk about real shit. I will say, I shit on my culture a lot for certain things, but we talk about real shit. When you get in class, of course, of course. There you go. Mad raving, how's your night, my friend? Welcome to stream. So much thankful for you to hop in. Lovely Christina, how you doing? Join the giveaway. Lots of giveaways tonight. And we are talking about game preservation. Something that's near and dear to my heart. I will be putting this onto YouTube, and I would request that you guys keep your eyes peeled for this video. This is very, very important, guys. And I will, hell, I'll probably, like, PM you this video. I will PM this video to everyone. I might get annoying about this, but I feel passionate about the subject. Game preservation is vital. And we can't rely on all game companies to be as nice and as with it as From Software or Larian Studios. Most game companies are not like that. And the only reason From Software and Larian Studios are like that is because they are not publicly traded. That's a big part of it.
the 2 Gs there back to back.
Here, let's go back. Let's let them talk about it.
And whether they own the crew or not.
Right.
But even then, it can still be confusing. So I've seen it as a priority to make this as easy as possible for everyone. To that end, I've been working with volunteers to launch a website to do just that. StopKillingGames.com.
StopKillingGames.com.
I hope you can remember that name. It has the 2 Gs there back to back. That might throw some people off. It's a multilingual website that can easily steer you exactly where you need to go to have maximum impact. Some people can do multiple things.
Oh yeah, he goes through it. Yeah. Dude, look at this. For every single major country where they talk about where, you know, this can be done, he has the step-by-step process. This is so good. This is so good.
So I even tried to prioritize your options a little bit. In fact, you can even just stop watching and go here if you want. There's nothing else you have to know that's not on the site. We have blazed a trail for—
While this is probably true, we're going to watch this entire video through and through. This guy put a lot of work. This guy put more work into this than I ever expected anyone to put into about this subject, literally ever. This guy is a legend. This guy is an absolute legend. That's why, like, in, like, the first 10 minutes of the video, I had to pause it and just immediately give this guy a like and a sub. I've never heard this guy before. This guy is a fucking legend already. Oh my god. Exactly, Noble Girl. Absolutely, completely agreed.
For you to hit back against the industry. All you have to do is follow it. We've done all the hard parts for you. See, people can complain about the games industry, but the reality is all internet comments are meaningless. None of your comments matter. unless a government official is reading them.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
And it's like a lot of those like online petitions where it's like this comment if you think that we should like end something bad. Dude, that stupid armchair Activision drives me so mad. It's like that entire thing. Remember when we were having the hate raids problem on Twitch like 4 years ago, and they were like, "Hey, we found the perfect solution to this. Everyone make your profile picture a complete black square. And don't stream on a certain day. And if you don't follow this, we're gonna yell at you." That shit was so bad. But like that a lot of, and like I don't doubt their heart. Their heart was in the right place when they did this, right? But they went around about it in the worst possible way. And it actually like hurt the subject matter so much. It was just like, I'm laughing because it was like comical, because they were like, it was like me and like some other people that were like, this is not going to help the situation anyway. And anyone who pointed this out were just yelled at online. It was just like, it was so dumb. But a lot of people are way too, I guess they think too highly of their reach on social media. I guess it was a racing game, The Crew. Yes, the racing game, yeah, The Crew is a racing game. But the problem, it's not that it's a racing game. It's not that it's, you know, what kind of game it was or anything. Even if you don't have or care about The Crew, all this is about, Editor, is creating legal precedents to be able to fight this battle for any other game, in any other country, in any other situation. That's what it is, Editor. This is just this is like a perfect storm of events that makes this fight particularly easier to win. That's what it is. Because if you win the first fight and you have legal precedents, you don't have it. Oh, then if you don't have it, that's fine. A lot of people do, but there might be like other petitions you can sign on it, and such like that. I'm not sure. I haven't looked through the entire website, but yeah. Nintendo shutting down online services to games people still play. Well, I mean, Ender, what you can do is reach out to your friends and tell them about this, or when I make the video, share my video with them as well. That's that, and you know, we're talking about impassioned about it. We're talking great detail about it. We're having laughs and memes about it as well. You know, it's this is a way we're like raising awareness that leads to action is very, very important. Yeah, Nintendo.
In fact, if
We
you've
talked
gotten
about
lost
Nintendo.
by
Abby.
anything I've said, here's all you need to remember. File complaints if you can.
Yeah.
Sign petitions if you can. Get others to do 1 and 2. And you can do
There you
that
go.
at stopkillinggames.com.
So if you can't do 1, you can't do 2, do number 3.
That's it. That's everything. You can tune everything else out like some sort of Zen master if you know those 3 things. But maybe you think I'm exaggerating what we can do.
Nope.
Well, why don't you judge for yourself?
Yep.
Since no one else has stepped up on this issue, I'm assuming Command to play general on this attack. So, you want to see my battle plans?
Let's
show
do
you
it,
my
baby.
battle
Let's look at it in
plans.
detail. I'm
This
ready.
could take a little while. Okay, Future Ross here. Some bad news. Like I said, this is an amateur effort, so even though some of these petitions were submitted weeks ago,
I like these pixel
at the time of
graphics.
this recording, we're still waiting on all of them to open up for signing. So here I am making a hype video to go send everybody to the right place, and they're still not ready yet. They haven't been rejected, we're just waiting on governments.
I'm so
this
distracted
is
by
kind of
this
a nightmare
background.
for me. Oh well, we're moving forward anyway. We do have links to where they're going to show up though, so that's something. Okay, battle plans. Now before we get into regions, the first option is worldwide.
Okay.
And it's eligible for literally anyone who owned the crew.
Okay.
Yeah, anyone.
So that's if you own the crew. Anyone who owned the crew.
Aren't you glad I cleared up those dead ends? Although it does have a critical flaw that can't be avoided.
Yeah, to own
See,
the
the
crew.
option for all owners of the game is to contact the DGCCRF, France's National Consumer Protection Agency.
Okay.
You go through this website here. They accept complaints worldwide, but there is a catch. The
Okay.
catch is they want everyone to contact Ubisoft first. So that means everyone is going to have to contact Ubisoft support tell them to fix the game.
Right.
Then, when Ubisoft refuses, or 2 weeks have passed,
And I did glance over it when we looked at the site. He actually like had the exact verbiage and everything. He went through the entire process like really, really fast
then you can contact
to make it really
France.
fast for us.
This is a major setback because
It is.
gamers are not known for their long attention spans.
Or their amount of will. True and real.
So asking people to wait up to 2 weeks before taking a second step may ruin us. I may be asking the impossible here. I don't know.
I feel targeted. Smile says, "Hey, look, facts be facts, man. It's important to be self-aware."
This right here could be exactly why the games industry has been able to get away with this crap for so long.
Right.
Because no one has the attention span for this second step. Some of you can do it though. I know it. Some of you. But let's look at the rest of the campaign because I am not stopping there. God no. Though remember, everything I'm about to show you can be done in addition to that worldwide step. So there's no one or the other here. And with that, let's start with the outskirts. Australia. Okay, Australia has a two-pronged attack. First, if you own the crew, you can file complaints to the ACCC, and they may do something. There was news not long ago about the ACCC going after the games industry. For God's sake, we need to find a way to piggyback onto this.
Yep.
Don't go after them and ignore customer games being destroyed. Don't do that to me, Australia. But besides that, Australia is also the first of our government petitions.
Okay.
And anyone in
So
Australia
this is for anyone in Australia.
can sign these, not just owners of the crew. And honestly, you guys need to hurry up because once it's
So certain areas, editor, apparently in certain countries, like in this case Australia, you don't even need to own the crew for this. So if you know any Australians, send them the Australian link. They don't even need to have the crew.
approved, we only have a 4-week window. Except, of course, it's not ready
Wait.
yet, even though it's been submitted. They give us a small window, but then don't tell us when it starts. Oh my God.
Okay, it's only
Now,
been
the
1 week.
upside is we only need 50 Australians to sign, but that's nothing. If we show up with 50, they may not take it seriously. I'd rather
Need a
we
lot
showed
more.
up with
Yeah.
50,000.
Yeah.
It's like a wise game man once said, there's no kill like overkill. This is the most time-sensitive element of the entire operation.
I wonder if this guy has reached out to larger gaming organizations in Australia for this type of situation. There's a lot of like every country has like various different gaming organizations that just do normal gaming stuff. And if you do this like step-by-step process for, you know, like for like even just like gamer subs for here, that's like that's people who sell like gamer supplements and shit like that. Like this, I think those types of organizations might be one to reach out to regarding this. Obviously, they're not in Australia, so the point is mute here. I meant the Australian version of some of those organizations. I don't know. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know if you guys know any Australian content creators. The ones that I know quit making content a couple years ago, so I have no idea. I don't really have too many Australian streamer homies anymore, unfortunately. We have a couple, but not too many. I'll reach out to them for sure.
Go sign it as soon as you can. Future Ross again. I just got word from the Australian government that the petition looks fine, but they can't open it for signing until April 22nd or maybe May 15th.
Oh, this is good. This gives us more time to gather people. There we go. Wait, but Gerlstein, all right. You're Australian. Hey, keep an eye out on this petition. Go to stopkillinggames.com. And when I put up the video, PM me on Discord right now so I can send you this video when I put it up because you missed the entire like first hour of this conversation and you can get the context then. There you go.
They don't know. So they can't even meet the
You don't
4-week
even need the
deadline they're
crew.
holding us to. What the hell, Australia? Moving on over, next we have Brazil.
Okay.
Now, Brazil is the wild card in all of this.
Ooh.
All the feedback I received said their consumer
This is
protection agency
Brazil.
would probably be ineffective. But having a class action lawsuit very likely would work.
Class
Apparently
action.
the
Okay.
argument of we sold you a product, but we can take it back at any time
Yeah.
doesn't fly with a lot of judges down there.
It doesn't fly with a lot of judges anywhere. But the problem is there's so many other loopholes we have to jump through in order to get this done.
Now, at the time of this video, the situation was still in limbo, so this one may or may not
This
happen.
is a
If
decently
it does
strong
happen,
legal
however,
case
the
for
cost of a
gamers.
class action lawsuit could be affordable if we have a fundraiser. I was told a 4-figure sum estimate. I currently do not have plans for a fundraiser, but if this looks viable, yeah, we may do one later. Don't worry, 90% of the battle plans still work even if no one spends a dime.
I will say that with Brazil, dude, Spanish gamers are so passionate. They are so into it, man. Dude, Spanish gamer fans, oh my god. They're fans for life, man. They're like the ones that like beat up another person on the street for like disliking their game, man. So if you're able, well, no, I mean, as a whole, dude, South America, Venezuelan fans, people in Mexico, same thing. I'm not calling people in Brazil Spanish. I'm saying the entire group of people in this entire area is this way as well. All right. Jesus Christ, Mage. Welcome, Blossom. We miss you. Happy evening. Join the giveaway. Yes, Mage. I've been to Brazil like 4 times. I know what they are. I know they're Portuguese, bro. I'm using this as an example.
Brazil is just part of the attack on all fronts mentality I've been taking. Moving
Good
on
to see you,
up is
Blossom.
the
Join the
United
giveaway.
States.
Lots of giveaway.
Okay, and moving on is Canada.
Oh, no.
Now, the thing about
So it looks like the US doesn't have like any real viable way to do this yet. Oh man. I'm sure he'll if something opens up in the US for this type of deal, I'm sure he'll bring it up. Because he seems extremely passionate about the subject. But I will say that consumer laws in the US basically rely on one thing. It relies on our lawmakers giving a shit. That's why our consumer laws are so fucking backwards. So that's the big problem. That's the big problem. And the only time that we'll get a law in the US that actually does something on the positive for us here is that when we are in when we already have existing laws in, like, for example, the EU. So that's one major way, which is why he's talking about targeting France and so on and so forth for this because of Ubisoft and so on. But the other major thing is if a lawmaker is personally invested on the subject, that's when they get social media. Yeah, exactly, Editor. Yeah. That's when they get passionate about the subject. Like, we will only see true changes for a lot of the gaming landscape legally in the US when a gamer gets elected to the fucking to fucking Congress. Politicians already started to act during loot box gambling. They didn't do anything, Senpai Abby. Who actually did something? Why do we actually have percentages on loot boxes? I covered this much earlier, but you weren't here. What actually made the difference was the EU passed the law that you have to have percentages on the loot boxes for every item in the loot box. And if you don't, you are not allowed to sell your game in the entirety of the EU. And that is the only reason we have percentages of loot boxes in here in the US. Politicians may, start to have like some, rumblings about it now, and that's great. I applaud that some of them are even talking about it. However, they ain't done shit. Like, there's no law about it here at all. That's my point. That's my point.
Canada is the federal agencies can't do
Oh yeah, I
much.
never finished my thought. The only way is like if a politician has a son who spent like $5,000 on loot boxes, and the politician came home and found out about it, and he's like really pissed off, that's when he would bring a law forward. That is the only way. Like, that's why the US sucks with consumer laws. That's an example for, like, something low key like this. Yeah. Yeah, get around loot boxes with battle passes. That's exactly what they do now. Correct. That is literally exactly what they do.
On this issue. So we have to look at the provinces. Okay, the United States.
Oh, okay.
Listen, guys,
Maybe there's a way.
I want to keep it real with you. The US is the suicide mission of this operation.
Yeah, it's kind of true. Like the ability to be able to pass something here is snowflakes in hell.
Unlike a lot of other countries, the laws are not gray on this issue. And at this point in time, it's almost hopeless.
Yep.
Almost.
True.
Owners of the crew can still contact the FTC, and
Yep.
I've been given coach points by a lawyer we can tell them to increase our odds to look into this.
Okay.
I am still not expecting a victory here. It's more like I just want to
Smart.
be sure our options are truly dead in the United States before I write it off.
Sad, but smart.
I don't want to pronounce the patient dead too quickly. You know how that goes. And hey, don't forget,
Do we?
if
Do we
you
know how
own
that
the
goes?
crew, you still have that option to contact France directly.
Yes.
In fact, I prefer you do that before you contact the FTC, since it has way better odds. Now, if you're an American and don't own the crew, which is probably the majority of my audience, then I have nothing for you. I'm
Uh-oh.
sorry, guys. I really tried. I just couldn't find anything. Game ownership really is as bad as the naysayers say in the United States.
It is.
The best I can do is tell you to get the attention of someone else who does qualify to do something. Remember the 3 points. If you're an American and don't own the game, you're number 3. All right, back up to Canada.
Number 3, as in tell others who could be in that situation. For example, if you have a single Australian friend, they don't even have to own the crew, so on and so forth. That's what he's talking about.
And ding, 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 Canada has our second petition to government.
We got some Canadians in
So
chat.
if you are a citizen or resident, head on over and sign it. We only need 500 for government to respond. But again, let's try to get a lot more
Canada.
than that, eh? Now, for owners of the crew, we didn't check every last one, but the provincial consumer protection agencies look pretty dire. I cannot endorse going through them at this time.
Okay.
It's almost certainly going to be better if you just sign the petition.
There you go,
Crossing
Abby.
the ocean again, we have the UK. And it's a similar story as Canada.
Yep.
The consumer protection options look hopeless. But hey, we have a government petition. If we get 10,000 signatures, government will respond. And if we get 100,000, then it's considered for debate in Parliament. Now those sound like big numbers because they are, but we have 6 months to get them. So I think if I keep campaigning, we can do this. And we move inland to the main attack here. First, let's stop by Germany. Germany is one of the few EU countries where their national consumer protection is powerful enough to act on this, despite Ubisoft being a French
Rare Germany W. Look at that. Holy shit. I didn't realize that.
company. So this is one of the few exceptions where you should contact the local agency first.
Okay.
Then contact France, like everyone else. Now, I learned late in the process, Germany and France have the option to petition their governments also. However, their thresholds are kind of high, and I can't hope to
Yeah,
cross
probably
them
not gonna
without
hit it.
making
Yeah.
serious inroads with foreign YouTubers
important to be
or
really,
other media
really
sources first.
realistic.
So if we get enough support and publicity, sure, we can add German and French petitions to the list. But not today. And that brings us to the heart of this, France.
There we go.
This is where our most powerful attacks are. French owners of the crew are the space marines of this operation. You have more options than anyone. The more you can do, the better. In fact, most people's best option is probably your weakest. Besides the DGCCRF, we'll also be sending registered mail to Ubisoft as part of summoning a government mediator to take
Ooh.
legal action on the customer's behalf.
Oh, make Ubisoft shit their pants? That's worth it in and of itself. Oh man, I'd love to hear it.
It's almost like having your own prosecutor. Amazing. And just to hit every last stop, French citizens will be contacting the UFC Que Choisir, a powerful consumer advocacy group with a great record of defending gamer rights. And we
Really?
actually juiced the whole process in France a little earlier prior to April, but that was the special operations phase of things.
Hey, that's
that part's
epic.
over now, so don't worry about it. And for the rest of the European Union, this is where most of our dead ends were. Since first I thought people should contact their consumer protection agencies. By and large, no. They tend to only look at national businesses, and Ubisoft is in France. So then the documentation says to contact the European Consumer Center. And no, I don't advise that either. We did do that for a while, But the answers were all over the place.
Right.
Some said Ubisoft could do whatever they wanted because of the license agreement.
Okay.
Others said Ubisoft was liable to provide the service forever, which is kind of insane.
Right.
I mean, that's going farther than even I want. But most of them had no idea
There's no way that would pass.
how to handle this. One clerk said they had never heard of someone make this kind of complaint before. Another one of them said it is unclear if these actions from the company are legally permitted. There is no clear legal regulation for this.
Okay.
So that's from the European Union itself, guys. There's no consistency. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. There's apparently no laws on this.
Right.
What year is this? I mean,
As soon as we have legal precedents, this becomes a lot easier. We just need one win. That's the thing to remember about these things.
still getting robbed. It's amazing game companies have been able to go on for so long existing between the cracks in the law like this, like cockroaches. We need to shine light on it.
Right.
And on that note, the final lane of attack is the Moonshot, which is the European Citizens Initiative. It's
Ooh.
like the other petitions, but way bigger. This one is ambitious. It might
I feel like this might be open to all Europeans, of everyone.
actually be delusional for me to attempt this. I don't know yet. But we would need 1 million signatures across the entire European Union for this one.
You don't even need to go to the UK, Hamshank. You just, I mean, if you're a European citizen, a UK citizen, then you could do this one. Yeah.
And there are some caveats, so in reality, more than 1 million. However, we will have 1 year to get these.
America doesn't have
I
one.
sure as hell can't get this from my audience alone, but that's a lot of time. If I
Right.
campaign hard enough, maybe we can get this.
It's not impossible.
And if that wasn't enough, this is
It's
also
important to know the thresholds, but we can't like act like things are impossible. If you do, then we're defeated at the beginning, you know?
the weakest part of the campaign. Because while we're ready to go,
Ugh.
it takes months for the EU to approve your proposal before signing.
Correct.
So that means there's going to be months delay between now and when this goes public. That is the kiss of death. That means we'll lose most of the momentum from April and I'll have to come out and campaign for this again months from now. This one may be a bridge too far. I don't know.
Yeah,
But again,
probably.
this is me attacking on
But it's
all
worth
fronts.
trying.
And that's the campaign. We have up to 11 fronts of attack, with maybe 13, though in reality, 3 of these are pretty iffy. But
And like the France one, that's achievable. The Australian one, that's very achievable. I mean, I think we should be reaching out to some Australian, gamer organizations, and that would provide, because you don't even need to own the crew in this country. In Australia, that's a big W. You don't even need to own the crew. Exactly. You keep what you killed, Ryan. That's true.
the rest are relatively solid.
Law of the jungle,
this
baby.
is happening, guys.
Law of the
This
jungle.
strategy is my absolute best effort as an amateur. Now, I'm biased when I say this, but if you care about not losing your games in the future, this is the best chance you're ever going to get to do
Exactly.
something about it. As far as I know, no one has ever challenged the legality of game destruction, and certainly no one's attempted it on this scale.
It's time.
And I can't say by how
It is
much,
time.
but this is going to get bigger too.
And this is only encompassing one game. If there's another more popular game that Ubisoft does this shit with, for example, like how many people own Assassin's Creed 1, 2, and 3? Dartsup was in here earlier talking about how they're gonna discontinue online usage of the original first 3 games, right? If that happens, this entire petition situation could be for those more popular games. Far more people own the Assassin's Creed games than they own exactly. Will be better than trying to do it with the crew. So this is like the foundation. Even if it doesn't work with the crew, it can work with other games. Doing the legwork already. Like this is really good news for us. It doesn't have to work with the crew. In fact, it might not. It probably won't work with the crew. Because I don't know how many people bought the crew. I don't know how popular the crew was. But I do know that no matter what that number is, almost certainly the number is like infinitely higher for Watch Dogs or not Watch Dogs, sorry, Assassin's Creed or any of the sequels of Assassin's Creed. There you go.
In fact, the next phase after this is to essentially spam myself on the internet to try to get more attention.
Well, Enitor, when AC dies, this petition could be used for AC, bro.
On this, I'll
Yeah.
do interviews, appearances, just try to get people to make Twitter posts, whatever. I don't really want to do that, but if that's what it takes to end
That's
this,
what it
I'll
takes.
do it.
That's what it
I
takes.
have a giant list of people I plan to contact, though you don't have to wait. If you have an audience and want me to talk about this, you can save me the trouble and contact me directly. Or you can skip me entirely. I don't have to be involved.
I'm going to contact him directly. I don't know if he's thought of reaching out to gamer organizations in Australia, because I think he's focusing a lot on France, which is totally fair. But I think Australia, being a giant country with a lot of gamers, they have their own sections of gamers and everything like that. Having those people not even need to own the crew in order to join the petition is an insanely low threshold to be able to, join that petition. All you have to do is be Australian. All you have to do is be Australian. That's it. That is like your only requirement for that one. And Death Dealer, welcome, buddy. Join the giveaways. Beefy, same to you, my friend. How you doing? We're talking about gaming preservation at the moment. We got lots of fun stuff to talk about and game and have fun with. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to close our second giveaway after this video ends. So stay focused, guys. Enjoy.
Involved in this. Just send people to stopkillinggames.com. They'll take care of the rest.
StopKillingGames.com.
I mean, it's a joke. I even have to do any of this for us to try not to get robbed.
Nice.
But that's gaming for you. One thing to keep in mind is the trajectory for gaming is so bad, we have absolutely nothing to lose. I mean, how does gaming get worse than publishers destroying your games?
It doesn't.
We've already
The
had
games
a
are
glimpse
destroyed.
of the future,
It's
too.
like the low threshold.
It's history now, but when Microsoft unveiled the original Xbox One, their plans showed us what game companies have in store for us.
Yep.
A surveillance device necessary to use the system that collects biometric data off you.
Oh, man. I remember when the Xbox One was originally announced and people lost their shit. Holy crap. The always online, the surveillance device, which is the Kinect, all of this shit, man.
You needing to connect to the company every 24 hours or else you're locked out.
You're locked out of the system. Like, what the fuck happens if you go on vacation? This is insane.
Out of your system, and when they eventually end support, your entire game collection becomes unplayable. Welcome to the future.
This is what they wanted. People were so loud about this, they had to change their mind. Let me give you a history lesson. They had to take out all of these features. Every single one of them.
Now, soon afterwards, they realized they came in too hot and had to walk some of that back, but the industry has been taking the boiling frog approach since. This is where we're already headed if we don't do anything on this. Now, I can't say if this campaign will be successful or not.
Yeah, forced obsolescence on a larger scale than ever. It was like a dream for them, yeah. Does anyone not know what forced obsolescence means? It's basically when you're... have you noticed when you have your phone, and after like 3 years, basically however long the warranty of the phone is, after that amount of time, the phone, like, just the quality of the phone is like, going like this, and then just drops off a cliff. It's because the phone is designed to do that. It's designed to drop off a cliff after a certain amount of time. Most things are like that now. And then that's what forced obsolescence is. I was just
What I
describing
can
it
say
because
is if people put
a
in
lot
the
of people
minimum
might not
effort,
know the term
then
wave.
we are going to get answers on this and close the book on this one way or the other. Again, if we pass the petitions, governments have to respond and own that answer. If consumer agencies get enough complaints, they probably will too. We won't have any more of this no clear regulation
They're linked
crap.
though, Ryan.
I can
Be
almost
fair.
promise you that much. Plus, if we win, can you imagine how good it will feel in the future knowing all your games are safe and you only have to think about whether you like the game or not?
Remember when you could think about this way back when there was a Super Nintendo? Or PlayStation 1? Or a Nintendo 64? Nothing was connected or anything like that. You either have the game or you don't. Man. I never thought that that would end. When I was a kid, I never thought that would end.
That's
Holy
my
shit.
vision of gaming for the future. It's a little different from the industries. And if we lose, we'll at least get told straight to our faces.
I think that the really important part to remember is that this ability and issue of owning games is only going to get worse. Because I would say in about like 20 years, maybe even 10 years, we won't be even having games on Steam anymore. We won't even be downloading games. I feel like they'll be like literally, because cloud-based gaming has already started. And it's definitely not at that level yet. But if you look down the road 10, 15 years, I can imagine most people will be doing cloud-based gaming. And at some point in the farther future, cloud-based gaming will be the norm and requirement. So if these laws and these legal precedents are not put forth sooner than that, it ain't going to be done afterwards at all. That's the problem.
In a democracy, you can never own video games that you paid for, no matter how many people want that to happen.
Yep.
I guess this will be a civics lesson then. Finally, I'd like to end this by saying thank you to Ubisoft. You're a French company and you pulled this crap.
Thank you so much, Ubisoft, for being so fucking greedy, so fucking assholey, and so fucking full of yourself that you thought you could get away with this shit. Thank you. Thank you, Ubisoft. Indeed. I see where he's going with this. That's
And
basically
you
what
did it
he's
to one
saying.
of your flagship titles with millions of players. If this had been Electronic Arts or Blizzard Activision, I wouldn't have had nearly the options that I do.
Right.
And a month later, you made a PR statement of saying people should get comfortable not owning their game.
Hey, this is what I was talking about, guys. It was Ubisoft. That was who it was. Remember, I wasn't sure if it was EA or Ubisoft? The answer was it was Ubisoft. My mistake, guys. It was Ubisoft. Ubisoft exec says gamers need to get comfortable not owning their games for subscriptions to take off. Exactly. While watching this, you were seeing if you had the crew on your Xbox 360. Oh, there you go. Do you? Hell yeah, man.
And then go on to lie in that same interview about online games being safe as you're killing the crew. I mean, what are you gonna do next? Threaten a judge? Here I've been thinking I have no way to fight this, and you go and create one of the best openings ever for it.
Oh, you tried to log into the crew? It won't let you log into your live account? You can't do anything with it? Yep, there you go. There you go. You're seeing it right there. You're seeing it right there.
Shame on me if I don't act on that. I mean, it's not perfect, but
Yeah.
this is a solid 8.5, 9 out of 10 opportunity here. If we can't win on this, we'll never win. There's no doubt in my mind. You set yourself up for us, so we'll swing as hard as we can and see what happens.
I think he's, you know, heart's in the right place. I don't think he's really looked into Australia enough. And B, I think the other major thing is if they're planning on getting rid of Assassin's Creed for remaster and completely, you know, doing the same shit with Assassin's Creed, bro, that's a much bigger target than the crew. That's a huge target. That's a ridiculous level target.
All right, that's it. Go to stopkillinggames.com.
There you go. Dude, this guy's a legend, man. Holy crap. He has some great information in this. This video was infinitely better than I thought it was going to be. Infinitely better. I'd never seen a video from this guy. So yeah, major W. Again, guys, I'm linking in the chat. Give it a like, give it a sub, share it with your friends. Let's close the next giveaway as well. We do this giveaway anytime we have 40 concurrent viewers, but it's a special night. It's Eve. We'll be doing many giveaways. So join that giveaway. Diddles, how you doing, buddy? You would have liked this video, man. I'm going to create this. I'm going to put this video on YouTube. I'm going to send to you, Diddles, so you can check it out because you've watched it. Oh, why the fuck did you not tell me about it, Diddles? I had to learn from someone not named Diddles about this. That's shocking. We talk about politics and stuff all the time, Diddles. We talk about the shitstorm of gaming all the time. Yeah, the betrayal. The Betrayal. Oh, hey, you should watch this. Thank you, Diddles. There you go. True and real. True and real. Oh, wait. He made a 50-second version. Oh, hold up. Let's watch the short version. He made a short for this. This is huge. Freeman's Mind? Everyone knows him? I didn't know him. I don't know what Freeman's Mind is. What the fuck is that? You talk about Smite 2? Maybe. Hold on. I want to see the 50-second version.
Okay, so I'm launching the largest ever campaign to stop video games from being destroyed. Yeah, destroyed. Like when a game shuts down, you can never run it again, but the publisher keeps your money. Money! Yeah, it's only in the US where that crap flies. Worldwide, it hasn't been tested. Lots of countries literally don't have laws on this. I've been spending months researching and organizing where to take action.
I'm glad he made a short
We're doing
version.
this in 2 ways. The first is Ubisoft has recently shut down The Crew, which had at least 12 million players. So if you own that game, you can help out. The Crew! The second is we're doing direct government initiatives for the UK, Canada, and Australia, but we'll try to have more. Anyone living there can sign those and maybe get the law to change. Go to stopkillinggames.com and it'll tell you what to do. Yeah! If you don't like losing your games, this is literally your only chance to change
I love this guy's energy.
You will have to fill out forms though. I'm sorry. Oh man! Alright, enough of this portrait mode crap.
Yep. He hates shorts almost as much as I do, guys. Look at that. He's literally basically hating the fact that he had to make a short while he made the short. Dude, this is how I feel about anything that is short or TikTok related. Oh my god. This guy's a legend. Holy shit. Holy shit. That was good. I'm glad he made a short version. The ADHD version, the necessary version, unfortunately, for gamers. True and real. True and real.